Tuesday, September 4th, and I'm your host, Paula Hersey. On today's show, the Barnstable Public Schools Superintendent welcomes back students to class, and we learn more about school safety visitor software coming in October. First, let's start with some news you can use. Are you ready to vote today? The Massachusetts primaries are today, September 4th, and polling stations are open at 7 a.m. and will close at 8 p.m. Here are the polling places for the town of Barnstable. Note, precincts 1, 10, and 12 have changed. Precinct 1, Zion Union Church, 805 Attucks Lane, Hyannis. Precinct 2, Community Center at St. George's Greek Orthodox Church, Route 1130, Route 28, Centerville. Precinct 3, Senior Center, 825 Falmouth Road, Hyannis. Precinct 4, Our Lady of Victory Church Hall, 230 South Main Street, Centerville. Precinct 5, the Osterville Fire Department, 999 Main Street, Osterville. Precinct 6, Jim of Christ Chapel, 2C Oak Street in Centerville. Precinct 7, Freedom Hall, Main Street, Catuit. Precinct 8, Hyannis Youth and Community Center, 141 Bassett Lane, Hyannis. Precinct 9, Hyannis Youth and Community Center, 141 Bassett Lane, Hyannis. Precinct 10, Seventh Day Adventist Community Building, 2736 Falmouth Road, Route 28, Marston's Mills. Precinct 11, West Barnstable Fire Department, 2160 Meeting House Way, West Barnstable. Precinct 12, Seventh Day Adventist Community Building, 2736 Falmouth Road, Route 28, Marston's Mills. And Precinct 13, Hyannis Youth and Community Center, 141 Bassett Lane, Hyannis. That was a long list, folks. Get out and vote. Today is the first day of school for Barnstable Public Schools, and we had a chance to sit down and chat with Superintendent Meg Mayo-Brown, who talks about the upcoming academic year and some of the initiatives and challenges for the district. It's that time of year again. Back to school you go. With me today, Superintendent Meg Mayo-Brown, to welcome all of our students in Barnstable Public School Systems back to school. Welcome.
Thank you. Great to be with you today.
So, are you excited?
I am super excited. We are welcoming back over 5,200 students to Barnstable Public Schools.
5,000 kids and probably twice the amount of parents jumping for joy right now.
Probably. A lot of sad students and happy parents.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So as we start the school year, let's talk a little bit about what's new. You've mentioned that you've got 40 new teachers on board this year.
We do, and they are from the Cape and beyond. We have a couple of teachers from Colorado and certainly some that are local, but we welcome 40 teachers to Barnstable Public Schools, which we're also very excited about. The teachers some of them are beginning their careers with them, while others are continuing their careers with us, but very high quality teachers. Again, very excited that they're joining us.
So is that across the spectrum of grades from elementary through high school?
It sure is. We have, even from kindergarten through all the way through high school. We have a new assistant principal for Barnstable United as well as Barnstable Intermediate School. So our parents will see new faces in terms of teachers and administrators this year.
And the kids will see new teachers too.
Oh, absolutely. That's what's most important. Yeah.
Right, yeah. Exactly. So let's start at the elementary. Yeah. It's the first, obviously, week of school and the first day of school. What can students expect for the year, and parents for elementary?
Sure. For elementary, we're continuing our curriculum in, math, English language arts, science, and social studies. Our parents know we have a new math program that we're using that really builds our students' understanding of math, right? So maybe when you and I went to schools, a lot of drill around knowing our math facts, right? But did we spend a lot of time in really understanding what those math facts represented and the concepts behind them? So math instruction has really shifted to building students what we refer to as conceptual understanding around mathematics. So that may look very different to parents. We're in our second year of that. So last year we worked with grades kindergarten and first grade as well as grades 4 and 5. So students in grades 2 or 3 will see some new math this year.
And I love the conceptual piece of it because it never made sense to take apples on a train.
Yeah, right, right,
Right? And,
right.
and everyone says, well, I'm never going to use this in
Sure.
real life. But this is real life conceptualization of how math is used.
It sure is, and it's fun. So for one of my favorite units is called Thanksgiving Dinner. So the teacher, tells this great story that she's planning Thanksgiving dinner, and she's got this many people coming over, and she needs to figure out how big of a turkey to buy based on the number of people she has coming for dinner.
Right.
So the kids have to, and if you're having a half pound per person, and I have 10 people coming, what size is my turkey? Now, I think that's just a little bit of fun for kids to figure that out in the context of some great story. So,
right.
Yeah, and then it sticks, right?
It sticks.
Yeah.
Exactly, and mashed potatoes. Everybody can divvy up the mashed potatoes
right.
too. How about the intermediate school? This is that time of life for young students. They're tweens, I guess you would call them. What's new in that area?
So the intermediate school continues its work around effective effort, right? So we really want our students to start to take more and more responsibility for their own learning, to make the connection that effort creates ability. The more effort you put into a task, you're gonna that's gonna benefit you. Also around growth mindset, that intelligence is not fixed, is what we're teaching kids. You can grow your brain, through challenging tasks and really working on your effort. You can grow the muscle. The brain is a muscle, and we want to exercise it and we want to grow it. So it's shifting to that, from relying more on the teacher for learning to really becoming more independent about your own learning. So we start to build, because that's so important in high school as well, right? So we want to start that work at the intermediate school. And then, the intermediate school in terms of focusing a lot on social relationships with one another. There's a great effort there around kindness and being kind to one another and creating a positive learning community. On the more academic side, we were so excited that we have a living lab, which was built in June, right, between the property between Barnstable Intermediate School and the high school. So our students for science can go out into that living lab area and do all kinds of studying on the environment and ecology. So that's a great addition to have. The more hands-on opportunities we can give our students, the better it is for them to learn.
Right, and that almost leads us into now our high school hands-on. I hear there's new internships too.
Yeah, we're so excited about that too. That's really a huge thank you to our community for opening up their businesses, or whether it's a municipal, fire or police or nonprofits. They've really opened their doors to our students. So the internship program, it's for seniors at Barnstable High School, has really expanded. I think we've doubled it in just a year's time, because these students really want to be out there, right? They want to be exploring what careers might exist for them. They want to participate in that hands-on learning out of the classroom. So that program has expanded, and we've been able to create a schedule at Barnstable High School where we put together 2 teaching periods together. So it's a double block of time where students can be out in their internship. So that was great too. And in addition to creating that double block of time for internships, the schedule benefits all students at Barnstable High School, because we've been able to increase the number through the schedule, increase the number of course options students can take. This high school really needs to be about sort of pursuing your talents and interests. And at times we've swung too far in education to just really focusing on the core content areas, to the detriment of really allowing students to figure out what they like and what they're interested in. So I think this new schedule creates those opportunities. I think parents, as the years go by, will see that the program of studies, the course offerings, gets even richer in that regard.
Right. And high school is such a great time. We have one of those interns. We're very excited. But we also talked to Pat Clark about those electives. There's some really cool stuff that it's not just your standard art class or your standard music class. There's some very eclectic types of things that students can explore.
Sure, in each of the department areas. So we had asked teachers at the end of last school year or even before, be thinking what interests you, as because it's reciprocal, right?
Right.
It's not just about what students are interested in taking. Our teachers have a lot of talents and interests and passions that they want to share with our students, and we haven't really been able to open that up for a variety of reasons. And that's that's sort of the point of doing a new schedule as well, is to have teachers offer electives that they themselves are passionate about.
Right. There's a lot of stuff going on at the high school. There's a new library coming in this year. Do you want to talk to that a little bit?
I do. I was in there a couple of weeks ago, and it was down to studs, steel studs. So we were again, a lot of things to be excited about, but delighted that our students will have more of a 21st century learning space to learn and to go to. I think the library previously was very traditional in its look and feel, and the folks over there in the library have just gone to great lengths to research different designs and figure out what's going to work best for our students. So you'll see a number of areas where students can work independently. I mean, we have some students that like to work alone.
Right.
There's group space where you can collaborate as students. There's meeting space. So again, and a lot of technology in the library, because again, technology is, for our students, as I often say, is their other second language. They're so proficient at using it that we need to capitalize on making sure that we have technology available for them to work with.
Right. And innovation spaces in schools happen everywhere, so from the elementary to the high school, but there's one that is very dear to our heart that we've already done a story on. We're going to follow up. Is at the end of the year in Centerville Elementary, there was a makerspace.
Yes. Yeah, so makerspace is a new term. I don't think it's commonly known. What is it? People hear makerspace. What is that? But it's really an area, as you've seen, where kids can come and be creative and invent and innovate, and we can let them loose in that kind of space to build and to work with each other with some sort of, some parameters around it, but the goal is really to do some creativity and some problem solving and let them sort of take advantage of their own learning and their own creativity. So that's a very formal space, if you will, at Centerville Elementary, and we hope this year to be able to see it in more of our elementary schools. Beth Forbes, the principal at Barnstable West Barnstable, has been working on an initiative. Makerspace doesn't always have to be in a room in and of itself. You can bring those kinds of materials and that mindset and philosophy into a regular classroom space and still accomplish the same goal with students.
It sounds like a very exciting year.
It's going to be. It promises to be a very exciting year.
Right. Anything else you want to tell parents and students?
I just think, to touch upon school safety remains our top priority. Parents should know that our educators have been trained in the ALICE protocol, which is, I think, probably one of the most effective school safety protocols. ALICE is an acronym that stands for Alert, Lockdown, Inform, Counter, and Evacuate. So all of our principals have become ALICE certified instructors, which is a higher level of training, and all of our educators are participating in an online course to learn about the principles of ALICE. And then, beginning with the school year, we'll do more in-person training with our educators. And the benefit of ALICE is that it puts the decision-making into the hands of the adults, rather than being primarily in a lockdown. We're supporting our educators to make decisions if they can evacuate safely in any sort of incident. The goal is to evacuate. So there's that. We have a new, which will begin October 1st, a visitor system, so that when adults enter a school building, they'll need to provide some sort of ID. So that will become more formalized as well. And again, all of this is to, just build upon the practices and protocols that we do have to ensure that our schools can be as safe as possible.
I can't wait for the first day of school.
Me too.
And welcome back to Barnstable.
Great. And welcoming everyone to a great 2018-19 school year.
Thank you.
Thank you, Paula.
School safety is paramount in the Barnstable Public School District, and changes are on the horizon for visitors to our area schools. Over 22,000 schools nationwide protect their students and their campuses with the Raptor School Security System, and Barnstable will implement this system in October.
Previously, we had a paper system where the visitor will come to the administrative area of the school and sign in on a paper log. We would issue them a sticky type identification badge. Some schools also have a pendant, and they would wear that through the school, and then, when they leave, departing, they were supposed to return that. As the visitors were leaving the premise, when they were through with their business, they would return to the administrative office and sign out and return the badge or the sticker. Many times visitors would leave with the badge on. We didn't have a good system. As you'll see later on, that this new Raptor system, the badge actually will have a watermark on it that shows that it's void after 8 hours, so it's not reusable, which we kind of like. But also, it allows us to maintain a database that we can look at district-wide, and we can tell who's in every school from any particular time during the day. So from a security standpoint, it's very useful.
The way we researched new visitor management software was basically looked around for other educational softwares, talked to other school districts, and see what other schools have been using. And we came to Raptor because some local school districts have been using it as well for anywhere from 3 to 5 years, and we did some demos and realized that it was a software that we would like to use for our district.
Visitors need to check in the schools mostly so that we can do a brief background check. Our paper system, one of the deficiencies was that it wasn't able to do checks. This current system is able to do a background check for sex offenders through 50 states. So we now have that's just in place where we can do a proper check there every time we have a visitor or a contractor or a volunteer. So we will use this system on anybody who enters the doors on our property. Also, they need to check in the schools so that the school administration is aware of who is on the premise at all times, and just allow us to make sure that our perimeter is secure and our children are safe.
So another great feature about Raptor, beyond the sex offender registry check in all 50 states, is each building is allowed to make a custom list. This could include any parents that may not have custodial rights to their children in the building, or somebody that has been given a no trespass order from the police station, so that we are notified of those people when they try to log in as a visitor.
We spoke briefly with the police department, let them know that we were looking at various software seats and platforms, and they were familiar with this and encouraged that we move ahead with the system. We also had spoken to some other school districts that utilize the system and found that they were very satisfied with it. There are currently in the United States about 20,000 school districts using Raptor, so it's probably the leader in visitor identification systems in the country, and is one of the reasons why we went with it as well.
What we liked about the Raptor demo was the ease of use for the end user. Every administrative assistant, every administrator in the district, it will be very easily to implement. It's not hard to figure out, so I think that was the selling point for us on Raptor. For Raptor software, the installation process is quite simple. We install the drivers for the ID scanner, the thermal badge printer, and just install simple software on the main computer using it. The database is also cloud-based, so anybody with a login credential can access the reporting features from any computer with internet access, which is also a huge plus for us in using this software district-wide. So the way we'll be rolling out Raptor across the district, it's simultaneous. Right now, we're uploading all of our user settings, our alert settings, and training staff that will be utilizing the software. We will launch it live, so every main office or main desk where visitors would check in will be using the software.
So what they can expect won't be too different than other visits or previous visits. All schools require that people check in, so the visitors will need to check in. The first time, they'll need to present their driver's license or some form of identification. Doesn't necessarily have to be a driver's license. It could be an ID card, a passport, but some government-issued identification. It will be scanned. If there are no problems, immediately, it doesn't take very long at all for a badge to pop out. Once they've been scanned and it's cleared, they've been scanned and cleared, next visits, they'll be in the database, and they will just have to present their name on entry, and as long as there are no issues with their records or anything has changed as far as their status, we'll print a badge. So they won't have to provide their driver's license every time they'll be in the database. So that's another nice thing about the system. So it shouldn't be an inconvenience to anybody.
So the only thing that the Raptor software records is first name, last name, date of birth, and it will pull the identification number off of the ID. It doesn't record an address off the ID or any other information. So that's the nice thing about Raptor. We don't pull anything that we don't need to use for the background check or the sex offender registry check.
They will just have to present their name on entry, and as long as there are no issues with their records or anything has changed as far as their status, we'll print a badge. So they won't have to provide their driver's license every time they'll be in the database. So that's another nice thing about the system. So it shouldn't be an inconvenience to anybody. We want parents to know that we're implementing the system to help keep the children safe and also the staff safe by just making sure that people who enter our schools have been screened and there are no issues, and again they're properly identified as they walk around the school. I think everybody feels better if they see somebody has an ID on with a photo on it, and they know it's current, and they know that person has passed a check that day. I think it's a better feeling for everyone, and that their environment's safer and secure, and the person they're looking at has been checked out.
Here's a look at our community calendar. Everyone gets back to school in September. Mark your calendar for this lecture on September 5th, 1 to 3:30 p.m. Cell phone photography at the Barnstable Senior Center in Hyannis. The Camera and Photography Club has professionals in their field who offer programs that will educate, inform, and teach amateurs different techniques, styles, and updates on the latest technology. Meet Barbara Brahman, photographer and digital artist, who will speak on cell phone photography and creative ways to use it. Non-members $5, paid-up dues members are free. RSVP is required, though. Please call Carol at 508-432-4035. Here's a look at this week's meeting schedule for boards, commissions, and committees. Comments, suggestions, accolades, connect with us on Facebook and Instagram, email us, or send us an old-fashioned note by carrier pigeon. Channel 18 works. For you. I'm Paula Hersey, and thank you for watching Barnstable Today.